In this lesson, we are going to be creating what is called a struct to basically act as a new value type, like our ints and our floats. And this new struct is going to be for our questions. We're going to have each of our questions be a struct. So let's go ahead down here in the project. I'm just going to right click in here, go to create, and create a C# script. And then immediately I'm going to type in trivia game loop. Press enter. Okay. Let's go ahead and just double click that to open it up in MonoDevelop. Now what we can do is go over to it. Looks like it had test open. Go over to trivia game loop, and right here I'm going to go ahead and start defining our struct. So we're going to define what our question is. So I'm going to type in public, and it's going to be a struct. So there it is. I'm just going to use the arrow key, go down to get to struct, and then tab to confirm that. Okay, we're going to call this question, the capital Q, question. Go down a line at a curly brace, and then the other curly brace. So that is basically the frame for our question struct. Now, what a struct can contain is a lot of different things, and one thing we're going to put in it is going to be a public string that we can access if we have a question as a variable. Now, the string is going to be the question text, just like that. Okay. Now what we can do in the start function, actually before that, let's go ahead and just create a variable for a new question. So public question, we can now create a question. Now we have that struct, and I'm going to call this question test question. Just like that. Okay. Now inside of the start function, I'm going to go ahead and say test question, go down to that, dot, and I can use the dot key to go ahead and access a bunch of different, these top three are functions as well as the last one, but this one here is actually the variable we set up within the struct. We can access the question text. So let's go ahead and press tab. We can set that equal to what is your name, just like that, and semicolon at the end, and then use the print function to print the test question dot question text. Close that out, semicolon, and save that. Now let's go back over into Unity, and let's go ahead and assign this to our main camera. You can see it's down here. And it looks like we have a missing MonoDevelop behavior. I'm just going to go and remove that. If you ever want to remove a component, just go to the little gear icon, and then there's remove component. And there's a few other options here we're going to get into later, but for now, that's fine. I had a missing mono behavior there. Anyway, so we have that there now. Let's go back over here. Yes, we have all that set up. So now when we run this, and I'm just going to go ahead and stop it, go over to our console, we did get that printed. We got what is your name. So that's cool, but we can do a little bit more. Let's go ahead and show the difference between what this is and say what a accessing the test class we made would be. So public test, and we're going to call this var test because it's whatever, it's our variable test, whatever. Anyway, that's fine, just a name for the variable. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go down here, add a few more lines, and right here I'm going to go ahead and get our var test dot age, set that equal to 10. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to create two new variables within the start function. So we don't need to put public in front of them, we just need to create, specify the type. So I'm going to create a new test class. I'm going to set this equal to our var test. Okay. Oh, 1 second. This test is the class, I need to set up the name. It's going to be called temp test, just like that. And we're going to set it equal to the var test. So cool. Now, next thing we need to do is create a new question. So type in question, So specifying the type, and then we're going to call this temp question and set that equal to our test question. Cool. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and try altering the age value and the question text for these new variables. So temp test, we're going to set that question text, or sorry, that age, to be equal to 12. Okay. And let's set our temp question dot question text equal to what is your age. Okay, simple enough, right? Now what we can do is here in this print statement, I'm going to go ahead and select all that, delete it. Actually, wait a second. No, we can keep that. We need it. What we want to do is we want to actually print out our test question text, and we want to add on to that our var test dot age. Okay, so what is going to happen here is that the test variable is referencing a class, and the test question is a value type. So what's going to happen is that by changing the temp test.age to equal 12, we're actually going to change the var test.age to equal 12, because here we're actually setting up this new test class to be referencing this instance of that class. Now, when we copied over the test question into our temp question, we weren't actually making a reference to it. We were copying the information. We were copying the value of test question into temp question. So that means that when we then set a new value to temp question, we were not changing the reference. We were not changing test question. So it was a isolated value, not associated with test question anymore. So that's important to remember here. But so yeah, when we changed temp question text to be equal to some new text, we didn't change the test question text. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and we can just go ahead and press play and see what this has done. We've got a null reference exception. So let's go ahead and fix that bug. You can double click on it and highlight where the problem is happening. So let's see. Not set to an instance. Oh, right. So we need to go ahead and do something. We need to go ahead and set up this to have a reference. So what we can do is, since there is a test class on, or a component really, on this object, I can just go ahead and click on this and drag and drop it into this slot here, and it's been assigned. So now we have a reference to this component on the main camera. So now if I press play, I'm going to stop play, it says, what is your name? 12. So we can see that the like what I said was happening, that the test here, this is a reference, and this is a value type. So that's an important note to make while you are scripting. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.